Good morning, Steph. And Toronto smashing a world record, administering nearly 27,000 vaccine doses in a single day this weekend.
Well, we did it rather last minute, right? So part of it is availability of vaccine, and then, of course, working with the amazing partners at Scotiabank Arena, MLSE. Remember, each one of those 25,000 or more injections had to be drawn up by a pharmacist or a pharmacist technician. So it was a lot of work, but people have loved doing it.
So the exact number, 26,771 shots administered yesterday at the Toronto Vaccine Day Clinic at Scotiabank Arena, believed to be the new world record. Texas holding the previous North American record with over 17,000 doses administered in one day. And even Mayor Tory rolling up his sleeve.
I had my first dose with AstraZeneca and I had my second dose with Moderna. And I just want people to know, because it's so important. There are people that have a lot of questions about this. It's been a bit confusing. But it's safe to do what I did, what some of you did. I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't safe.
So the record-breaking event, it took 10 days to plan. Mayor Tory expected to provide his latest COVID-19 update at 10 this morning. So you can watch that one on citynews.ca. As always, we'll stream it there. Meanwhile, Ontario speeding up second dose appointments for all adults across the province. So starting this morning, 8 a.m., anyone in Ontario older than 18 who received their first mRNA shot can book their second dose appointment through the province's vaccine portal ahead of schedule. Those who got AstraZeneca must wait at least 8 weeks before getting their second shot. Over 77% of Ontario adults have had one dose so far, over 34% now fully vaccinated. Meanwhile, Canada's vaccine supply, it's looking strong, with enough doses by the end of this week to fully vaccinate 3/4 of everyone over the age of 12. By Friday, our country's total deliveries should top 50 million doses. It includes over 2.4 million from Pfizer-BioNTech and about 1.4 million from Moderna. By the end of July, these two vaccine makers should deliver enough supply to immunize all Canadians over 12 years old. Testing, meanwhile, still being done on younger children. Meantime, Canada, close to fully vaccinating 10 million people. Let's get to Florida now. The search for bodies, including Canadians, getting more dire by the day following last week's condo collapse. City News reporter Karen Ciolin has the latest.
We are not stopping until we pull every resident out of that rubble and reunite them with their families. We need some miracles now.
While ground crews search for a miracle, loved ones of the missing pray for one.
It's been extremely agonizing. It's been very painful, and I'm going to stay out here until they find my baby sister.
The painstaking search for victims, at times hampered by smoke and a fire that had been burning deep within the wreckage. But more bodies and remains were recovered when a massive trench was dug into the pile of debris.
This trench is very critical to the continuation of the search and rescue process.
People who live in a similar nearby building, built by the same contractor, now wonder whether they could also be in danger.
Personally, if I were in that building, that sister building, given all the circumstances, I'd probably want to be out of it until someone told me it was safe.
The town's mayor says an investigation into the other building would be underway shortly, and anxious residents have been offered alternative housing.
They shouldn't have to sleep in a building that they're fearful of.
Officials say there's no time limit on when the search for bodies and possible survivors will shift from rescue to recovery. Among those still missing are 4 Canadians. While Global Affairs Canada has offered few other details, the agency tells City News the affected Canadians come from 3 different families. Karen Ciolin, City News.
And the search will be entering its 5th day. We're going to be hearing from CNN's Daryl Forges live for us with an update just after 7 o'clock. Out west now, the ongoing heat wave is breaking records, hitting the highest temperature ever recorded in Canada. Lytton, BC, now holding this record after the village hit a staggering 46.1 degrees Celsius yesterday afternoon. Previously, the hottest temperature recorded, 45 degrees, set in Saskatchewan that was back in 1937. Now, temperatures will continue in the 40s today before finally starting to cool off tomorrow. We're going to hear more from Natasha in moments. Back here at home now, 2 men have died. Another is in hospital after a drowning incident in Cottage Country. OPP in Huntsville were called to Port Sydney around 2 yesterday afternoon. Police say 3 men, all in their 20s, last seen in the water and failed to resurface after going down rapids. A 20-year-old man was pronounced at the scene. A 23-year-old rushed to hospital where he later died. And a third man, a 22-year-old, recovering in hospital. Well, for the second and hopefully last year in a row, Toronto's world-renowned Pride Parade celebrated virtually. Have a look. All right, so this was the 40th year for Pride in Toronto, held online yesterday, of course, because of COVID. During the 1-hour stream, politicians, including the Prime Minister, attended while it was hosted by the winner of Canada's Drag Race, Priyanka.
Pride is about celebration and about dancing, and I will never forget those prides where you remember at Cruise and Tangos where you go up to the second floor and you dance to all the dance hall music, or you pull up to Blockorama with your girls and you're just partying in the parking lot. This is the portion of the show where we all get to dance together and celebrate fighting for our equal rights and just being ourselves and having a good time and supporting each other. So the DJ is gonna hit it on the 1s and 2s and we're all gonna dance together.
Toronto, home to some of the biggest Pride festivities in North America. Now today, June 28th, marks the anniversary of the Stonewall riots that sparked the modern movement for the LGBTQ2+ rights in 1969. All right, we've got a big show ahead coming up. Right now it is 6:11. U.S. job numbers suggesting workers are quitting at alarming rates. So what is causing the Great Resignation? Mike Epple, he hasn't quit. He's still here. Joins us after the break.